Welcome into hour number 2 of the program. Appreciate you joining us here on what is a Football Friday edition of the show, the biggest Football Friday of the season. We are going to take one of our 3 timeouts here on the show from football for just a second because I want to talk about baseball. Winter meetings start on Monday. The Juan Soto situation should resolve itself very quickly, as in it could be today, it could be over the weekend, it could happen during the show. We've got anything and everything is on the table for baseball over the next 72 hours or so. So I want to take a quick time out and talk about the Diamondbacks because the moment Juan Soto signing is done and he ends up with a team, that's going to open up everything else on the hitter market. And one of the big hitters that's available is Christian Walker at first base. And we don't shy away on this show. At least I don't. Maybe the powers that be will have a stern talking to me after this. I don't know. We're going to do it. We'll see if we can get away with it. I don't shy away from discussing what other people at other radio stations have said. I don't. I'm not going to treat you, the listener, like you only listen to one radio station and you don't know about other things that exist. I'm not going to treat you like that. I understand that you know that there are other places to consume sports content. We would love for this to be the place that you consume your sports content because we think we do a great job here on this show, but I am not naive. And there is somebody else that is a big name in this market that hosts a radio show that reported yesterday that it is unlikely that the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be able to bring back both Christian Walker and Joc Pederson. Okay, let's take that report and let's ask the question. If they are unable to bring back both Christian Walker and Joc Pederson, which one would you rather have back on the 2025 Arizona Diamondbacks? Christian Walker or Joc Pederson? You can wave a magic wand. You can guarantee that one of those guys re-signs with the Diamondbacks and he's a member of the 2025 team. Who would it be? Would it be first baseman Christian Walker or would it be DH Joc Pederson, who provides a lefty bat in your lineup, solves your DH problem? Who would it be? Because if we are to believe that report, that it's only going to be one of them, that means we can have fun here and make that choice. Well, guess what? It's very clear to me where the Diamondbacks' priority should be if it can only be one of those two guys. And it needs to be the guy who can hit 30 to 35 home runs. It needs to be the guy who is able to give you above average defense. Yes, he's 34 years old. Yes, it's only going to probably be a 2 or 3 year commitment. But this team is in a win now window. This team is trying to compete right now. They did miss the playoffs last year because of a tiebreaker, but we're in the World Series before that. And Christian Walker and his power in the middle of that lineup is absolutely the thing that they need. They can get production out of the DH spot that isn't going to cost as much as Joc Pederson would cost. Now, Christian Walker is going to cost a pretty penny. It's going to cost a lot of the budget that I think this team has. They spent like $170-something million last year. Rumors out there are that they're going to be close to that this upcoming season. I don't think they're going to go over that number, especially if they aren't going to bring back both Joc Pederson and Christian Walker, and it can only be one of those guys. Now, it's not a guarantee that it's going to be one of those guys, but it probably could only be one of those guys, according to that report. So if that report is to be true, then they got to pick one. And if you had to pick one, I don't know how the answer isn't Christian Walker. The power, the defense. Now, he plays first base, but so it's not like you're getting a gold glove caliber center fielder or a gold glove caliber shortstop that can hit you 30 home runs. But you're getting elite defense. There's a reason why the potential suitors for Christian Walker include teams like the New York Yankees, who were in the World Series a year ago, the New York Mets as a Pete Alonso replacement. That was a playoff team last year. The Seattle Mariners have been thrown out there as a team. The Cubs could be interested. The Nationals, the Giants. There's a reason why he is coveted this offseason. He's a power-hitting first baseman that plays really solid, I would call it above average elite defense. That's valuable. That might be $25 million a year for a 3-year deal value. I've been on record saying that I think his contract's going to be closer to 3 years, $75 million. That I think he's going to end up being close to $25 million a season. And so we'll see if the Mets get involved, if the Yankees get involved after Juan Soto makes his decision. And I did just make the decision to refresh Twitter one more time just to make sure it hasn't happened while we were discussing the baseball offseason. I predicted that we would have something to talk about on this show about Juan Soto before the end of the week. It feels like time is running out on me here. I've got about 50 minutes or so. The time's not really on my side for Juan Soto to make his decision, so I think I'm going to lose that bet here. Hopefully that's the only bet we lose this week. Hopefully the Schubert 6 goes swimmingly. But if the Diamondbacks could only have one of these guys back, it's unequivocally Christian Walker. You can replace Joc Pederson. You can find somebody that is a good enough caliber DH on a cheap deal, on a one-year prove-it deal, or maybe you go with an in-house option. You don't have an in-house option for first base. You don't. You bring back Joc Pederson, who's playing first base. Now I got to replace 30 home runs. You can't replace 30 home runs. You can't replace that defense. You can pick one or the other. You might be able to get close to the 30 home runs, but sacrifice the defense. You might be able to get close to the defense, but sacrifice the home runs. Those are the choices you have. So with Joc Pederson, can I find a lefty bat that can be my DH? Yeah, I can find a bunch of those guys without taking too much of a dip because I don't have to worry about defense. I just got to worry about somebody that can hit the ball. So if only one of these guys can come back this year, and that feels very much in line with what has been the position of this show, that they can talk about spending close to last year's money, but I think they're going to come in under last year's money. It's why you're starting to see people talk about Jordan Montgomery getting traded once again and eating some of that money. And the starting pitching market might help the Diamondbacks in that regard because there might be a team that's more willing to trade prospects and take half of Jordan Montgomery's contract and pay him $10 million than give out some of the multi-year commitments that are out there in Major League Baseball right now. With what Severino got, with what Frankie Montas got, with what Blake Snell got, might not be the appetite to give up $25, $30 million, anywhere from $20 to $30 million a season for middle of the rotation starting pitching. You may not want to do that. You may be, all right, he wasn't great last year, but we'll take a guy that was in the World Series a couple years ago, and we've only got to pay him $11 or $12 million, and the Diamondbacks are paying the rest of it. Yeah, we'll trade a prospect for that. That is potentially much more appetizing. That's how you free up money. But if you can only keep one of these guys, and again, a report from somebody who's very well connected in this market said that it's only going to be one. But if it's only going to be one, then it needs to be Christian Walker.